If you're incredibly wealthy, like just sold my company for hundreds of millions of dollars wealthy, then this is the community in the video for you. If you are not lucky enough to be that wealthy, like me, this video is going to show you some amazing homes, an amazing community, beautiful golf courses, wonderful boats. It is the most prestigious community here on Hilton Head Island. And that's saying a lot because this is an expensive island. If you're into exclusive, private, nobody's allowed in except you and your friends clubs, Wexford might be the place for you on Hilton Head Island. Being locked behind the gates of Wexford gives you some ridiculous privileges. First and foremost, Wexford is a community that is built around a harbor. They built a harbor, put a lock system on it so that it is as protected and wonderful of a harbor as they could create, and then they built houses around that harbor. Everything in there is man-made. With regard to the harbor, there are homes on islands on top of the harbor. Most of the homes in Wexford are either waterfront or harbor view. A lot of them have their own docks on the back. 138 homes have their own dock on the back. When I go into Wexford, I think of Miami, where they created canals to put massive yachts behind massive homes so that they could get to deep water and go boating. That is what Wexford is. First, let's talk about private. Private meaning it is private. Nobody is allowed in there except for homeowners and their guests. So there is a guard that sits out front that says, you cannot come in here because you don't have a pass. You can't buy a pass. You can't beg your way in. There is no getting in unless a homeowner has called you in a pass, you are a homeowner, or that's it. You can't get in. Wexford is very much a retirement community. Now I say that because they have amenities that are going to cater to the retirement crowd. That's not to say that there are not young families and young people there. There are. There are playgrounds, there are tons of community events, Santa Claus comes at Christmas time, but for the majority of the people who are in Wexford, you're looking at an older population, you're looking at retirees, and it's set up that way. There is a club, there is golf, there is tennis, there is pickleball, there is a crochet, that thing you hit the little ball on the ground. I want to say cricket, but that's not right. Course, it is very much set up for the retiree. The clubhouse in Wexford sits right over top of the, right over top. It would not sit right over top of the harbor. It would sit beside the harbor so that you could look out over the harbor. That's what I'm trying to say. Sits to where you can look right out over the harbor. There are 2 swimming pools in Wexford, one adult, one that's geared a little bit towards kids, where it has like a beach walk-in area, some fountains, some fun things. There is a newly installed outdoor bar at one of the pools, which we will call the adult pool, which allows the members of the community to go to the pool, hang out, get to know each other. The golf course inside of Wexford is an Arnold Palmer designed golf course. You've got 18 holes. It is a pretty prestigious golf course. It held the 2017 Senior Open Qualifier. It's one of the top courses on the island, with a number of the holes being named, you know, one of the top 18. I'm not a golfer. My ball doesn't go where I want it to. I get more frustrated and drunk than I do enjoy the game of golf. So therefore, I don't know a whole lot about it. But apparently, the local paper picks out the best 18 holes on the island and puts together their super course. A number of the holes from Wexford's golf course have been put onto that list. It is a very, very nice golf course. The tennis facility is an award-winning tennis facility. Their pro has won a number of awards for being best pro on the island and in the area. There are 6 hard-true clay courts, 4 pickleball courts. There is a clubhouse for just tennis alone. There is a pro shop, which is a full-service pro shop. And obviously there are tons of tennis events. There are professional tennis lessons. Even though Wexford is geared more towards the senior retiree, there are some things there for kids. There's a very nice playground. You've got a half-court basketball court. And one of the things I think is nice for everyone, but certainly the kids love it, is it's a golf cart friendly community. People have their own golf carts. They travel in golf carts, not cars. There is golf cart parking in a number of different areas inside of Wexford. It's very popular here on the island. There are a number of communities that are golf cart friendly. There are some that are not. Golf cart friendly communities seem to be very popular. One little overlooked detail of Wexford is that they do have biking and walking trails. This is important because, again, when you have an older community and you have grandpa riding his bike, he might not be super stable. So if he's out on the road and I'm trying to come around him with my car, one, I could make him a little bit nervous. Two, he definitely makes me a little bit nervous. So getting people off of the roads onto paths and trails is, in my opinion, a much better way of allowing the golf carts and the bikes, those things in the community. If you do not have trails, it gets a little hairy on the roads when you've got bikers and golf carts and cars all trying to share the same space. The harbor is called the Inland Harbor. This is inside of Wexford. It is a lock system. So what happens is it's coming off of Broad Creek. Broad Creek is a tidal creek here on Hilton Head Island. Tides are crazy here on Hilton Head. They fluctuate from high tide to low tide. We're talking about 7 to 8 feet of fluctuation. We don't want our very, very expensive yachts sitting on a dock that fluctuates 7 to 8 feet constantly for a long period of time. So what Wexford has done and what the Inland Harbor has done is they've created a lock system. They will lock those tides out. They will be able to then regulate the way that the water adjusts inside of the Wexford Harbor, and therefore your boats aren't bouncing up and down every 12 hours with the fluctuations of the tides. There are 280 boat slips inside of the Inland Harbor. Can handle up to a 70-foot boat with a 19-foot wide beam. There are 138 private docks that sit behind homes here in the harbor. The real estate in Wexford consists of 460 properties. There are still some lots that are being built. 124 lots will back to the harbor, allowing you to have your own private dock there on the harbor. There are 51 townhomes. There are 47 garden homes in the community. Those homes are going to back to the harbor, as we've talked about. They're going to back to the golf course. Some are going to have wooded views, and then some are going to also have lagoon views. Obviously, the more expensive homes are going to back to the harbor. They're going to back to the deep water of Broad Creek, and then you're going to go down from there with golf views, lagoon views, and then just kind of a wooded view. All of this privacy comes at a cost. So let's run through the fees of Wexford. Your initiation fee is going to be $35,000. That is a one-time fee that is paid when you purchase the home at the settlement table. That gets you into the club. Your annual assessment is going to be $17,000. That's every year, whether you golf, use the club, whether you play tennis, no matter what, if you live in Wexford, you are paying $17,000 a year to be a member of their club. There is a $600 special assessment that is going on through August of 2023. This was to pay for a club revitalization that happened in 2010. So what they do is they do a massive project inside of these communities and say, we are going to give you an assessment over X amount of years. This one obviously was a 13-year assessment, $600 a year. Wexford is a gorgeous community. If I could afford it, I would love to be there. But it does come at a hefty price. And really, that's what the exclusivity, that's just what you get with exclusivity. If you want to be exclusive, if you want to be private, if you want to have the best, you unfortunately got to pay for it. I put the link to Wexford's community in the description. So if there's anything that I miss, anything that you want to know more about, it is there in the description on their website. It's where I pulled the majority of my information from, but as I do these videos, I sometimes forget some things or stumble over my words and just move on. So use that link to learn more about what's there inside of Wexford.